hey, 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 hey. Hello, hello, hello. Diva, check it out. This is my fifth or sixth or seventh time trying to go live on this thing. It kept kicking me off and I had to redo everything. So, hello, check this out. We're doing a session today, all right? You see what the topic is. You see what the topic is. We're talking today about how to win in court. How to win in court. That's right, we're talking about how to win in court. Washington Melvin, hello, brother. Dean Barron, hello. All right, so we're going to talk about how to win in court, going over strategies in court. We're going to talk about the advantages of being in the system, the advantages of being outside of the system, and how I tend to walk with this thing, and how a lot of my people do. Importance of understanding who you are, why it's so important, and we're going to talk about who do you run to when you need help? Who do you run to? Because, with this system, we get so frustrated. We don't know who to call on. We're going to talk about who you call on and who we've forgotten about. All right. So, Diva, hello, y'all. Ashe, Amanda, Amada. That's my Spanish kicking in. Paul, what's going on, brother? So we're going to get on this thing today. Thank you all for joining me. Once again, I've tagged some people, and I had problems getting my whole setup here. Allison, what's going on, sis? So if you don't like me tagging you, please let me know. And if you want me to tag you, let me know so that I can make sure I get you in here. But yeah, I thank you all so much for joining me. We're going to go over this session, doing some fun stuff today. If you all have any questions on this stuff, please let me know. So we're going to get into it. Winning in court. All right. Strategies in court, advantages and disadvantages of being in the system, importance of understanding who you are and who do you run to for help. All right. So let's do this now. First thing, we're going to talk about strategies when we're talking about being in court. Now, I've had recently a couple of clients that I've had to help when they've gone into court on some things. Now, one of the things I want to say is that I like to take people through the session, my sessions where they're on a course. I want to take you through the course so that when you're going into these situations, you know how to handle yourself. All right. So, when people are going into court, you got to understand. I need y'all to to get this, it's like going into court, on a basketball court with Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan, right? And you just learn how to dribble. So if you don't, these people have been doing this thing for years. They know the game. And there's only so much I can prepare you for when you're going into their venue. So this is why I like to take people through the course so that they fully understand who they are. And today I'm going to get into a couple of things that have happened. I had a client who's allowing me to share this story and this information with you so that I can make sure so I can help some other people who are going through this situation. All right. So you've got to understand what it is when you're going into this system. Now, first of all, let me talk about this whole ticket thing. We're going to deal with the tickets now. When you're dealing with the ticket, there are so many remedies all throughout the whole process, even from the beginning of not accepting the ticket, because when you know yourself, you know that it's just a contract and these people are just corporations trying to make you accept their ticket. All right. So when you know that, when you're aware of that, okay, you don't accept the ticket, you don't contract with them. All right. But let's say you're fearing and you accept the ticket. Things that you need to know about, if you're going to sign it, make sure you put it in a box. Make sure you have your UCC 1-308, all rights reserved, whatever you want to put under threat and coercion and duress. When you put it all in a box. So when you do that, those are some things that you can do when these agents are coming at you. Now, above that, once you get that ticket, what you want to do is send it in, send it back. You're going to send it in with a presentment saying you do not accept this contract. All right. You can send that into them, and that is going to wipe the case out. All right. Suing, you can sue them. So you can sue them for violations. All right. Your police cop pulled me over, and I'm suing you for this amount of time. It took 10 minutes. That's $1,000 a minute. That's $10,000. I'm suing you. I'm suing you for copyright infringement because you can't mess with my name in the first place. All of this, you can do that. These are some things that you can do. Again, just all along the process. Let's say you don't send the ticket in and you need to go to court. All right. Even when you go to court, you can go in there and you can challenge the jurisdiction. All right. And a lot of people don't understand what jurisdiction is, and I'm not going over this in this session. I've gone over it before, but you can do that. You can challenge the jurisdiction. Even after you don't win the jurisdiction because you don't know what you're talking about, you might end up, you can argue the violations. That's really a dishonor. Challenging the jurisdiction is a dishonor. By the way, once you get into court, really, you're in dishonor. You're just, anything in public court is somebody who didn't handle their business on the private side. All right. But the other thing you can do is accept the charges. This is one of the things that I'm getting into today. We're talking about, we're going to accept the charges. All right. The other thing is you accept the charges and pay all the court fees and get paid. See, but what we're working with, and a lot of, us are starting to understand when these people are coming at us, they're contracting. So we're going to start looking at this as a ching when they're coming at us. We're going to be excited. You see red lights behind you and blue lights flashing. Oh, we get ready to get paid. We get ready to get paid. So that's what we want to get to the point where we're not frustrated and stressed out when they're coming at us. This is an opportunity to contract. Oh, you want to contract with me? Well, then let's do this. So we're going to talk about that today, about some of the things I've helped with a couple of people. Hello, Gary. Hello, Craig. Hello, Toya. That I've helped a couple of people with. And we're going to talk about, how we can be on the winning side of these tickets. Now, here we go. Now, freeing yourself from the system. But we're going to talk about this real quick because I want to get into the advantages and disadvantages of being in the system and not being in the system. All right. Here we go. I just want to make some notes so I don't forget to tell you what I need to tell you. All right. So some advantages and disadvantages of being in the system. Now, the deal is, a lot of people they're finding out, oh, they lied to us, and it's fraudulent, and it's this, and it's that, and they're upset, they're angry. And this is why I need to go back to the universal laws, because once you understand the highest of laws, you understand that there is no fight. You don't have to fight. Whether you're in the system or outside of the system, when you're operating under these laws, what am I talking about? The universal laws, the laws of Maxim. Go and look those up. I've put up a link where you can pull those down. But we're learning to be in this dimension and not fight. Everything has duality. All these things you're angry about, oh, it's fraudulent, it's this, it's that. What they're using, the same thing they're using against you to hold you down, is the same thing you're going to use as a tool to lift yourself up. The law of polarity. When you're understanding that, you're going to learn how to walk like a God. None of this stuff is going to affect you. None of it's going to piss you off because you're going to be like, oh, okay, I know how to get around that. You're going to understand there is no money in this system and how to work it. You're going to understand how to get your benefits from the system, or you're going to understand how to walk outside of the system and deal with the universe. That's who I work for. So let's get into this, because when we're talking about freeing yourself from the system. You can look, when you know who you are, that's why I talk about the hierarchy of laws and where you stand as a human being, as a sovereign, as a God, then you can just walk away from that Social Security number and never have to deal with it again. You don't even have to put any paperwork down when you know who you are. but you have to walk it. You can't be, half in, half out, riding the fence. No, you just got to walk it. And you don't need no paperwork to do that when you know who you are. But on the same token, when you don't know who you are, all the freedom paperwork in the world will not help you. All of it. And I'm going to tell you about that today, in this case that my sister gave me the opportunity to speak on, to help some people out who are going through this. Now, so you can walk away from the system and never deal with it. You can remove your Social Security number from the system, totally collapse your birth certificate, rescind the contract, rescind any other documents you had. You can remove all of that. Or you can control the state and never use it again. Or you can control the estate and use it when you want to. So now what I tell my people, and I'm going to go into why it's to your advantage, control the state. Get control of the estate. And then if you want to use it, use it. If you don't want to use it, don't use it. But we got to understand that there's a whole lot of advantages to being able to ride whichever side you want. All right. I sit on the outside and I control the estate. That's just me. But I help other people who want to be inside the system and do what they want to do. My friend Melvin is very good at helping you understand how to walk on the inside of the system and get all your benefits from the system. And it just depends on how you want to walk. Everybody wants to do it differently. Some people are hell-bent on, damn the system, damn the Social Security card, the Social Security, his birth certificate, damn it. Okay, that's fine. But I show you, again, how there's some advantages, okay? Now that we understand that, let's understand this. I talk about controlling this state and using it when you want. Now, I talk about when the cop comes at you and you like, cha-ching, cha-ching, you can't do that if you've pulled everything out of the system. They can't contract with you. They can't write your name. You're not in the system any longer. When you're in the system, though, and like I've had a couple of clients to come to me, and I have helped them to build their own court. So now, what happened with these two cases is they end up coming at the last minute. And it's like, normally, again, I don't like to do these kind of cases, but when they come, it's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. You've got to go into court. And normally I don't like for my people to go into court. Okay, I'm saying stay far away from it because it's a rigged court. All right. And when you go in there, again, it's like you going up against Michael Jordan and you just learned how to dribble. You got a chance of getting your butt kicked. But when I prepared them in these cases, what I did was I made sure they had their own court when they walked into that system. So here's that rigged court. You're going to come in with your court over that court. A private court is going to overrule a public court all day, every day. So here's the deal now. This the game plan. Y'all write down, take notes. So what we do is we prepare a court and an instrument. One of the things that happens is that when you prepare an instrument that pays for everything you're paying for, the sheriff, the bailiff, the court costs, the judge and the lights and all. You pay for everything. You are the king. And so the judge has to listen to you. And really, when you walk into court and you've already, because what we're going to do is we're going to prepare an instrument and we're going to prepare a court and we're going to send that in advance, so that the judge has it. When the judge gets it, you have put orders in that court stating specifically what you want. And that judge needs to abide by those orders by law. All right? Because they become your fiduciary. They become the trustee of the estate. And when you've sent them this payment, they have to do what you say because they now work for you. Now you're going to have the DA over here talking, blah, blah, blah. Judge going to have to say, shut up. Because you have already paid for everything. So this is how the game works. Um, Again, when you walk in, like I've had, I had a client. I'm going to tell you about this case. I had a client, and she had this situation with child support. And her baby's father was trying to get her to get her locked up for not paying child support. And his thing was in the orders that they were asking the court, we want you to lock her up until she pays this thousands of dollars in child support. And, trying to get her a psychiatric evaluation or what have you. That was their plan. Well, we created a court where, again, she paid for everything, all right, with her instrument. And so what ends up happening is this is on the private side. This is submitted via the post office, via registered mail. This becomes a federal case. Federal. Once you put it through the post office. So now that that's happened, and you've got this federal bond in there, and we've paid for everything, then now the judge can't listen to that. He's got to pay attention to what she's saying. Her court is going to overrule his court. So, but the deal is, again, she still doesn't know all of the ins and outs. So I have to tell her, look, this is what y'all need to understand. Don't go in there trying to fight nothing. Don't go in there trying to argue. There is no argument, because by the time you get into a public court, you already in dishonor. Now her thing is she's in a court to the judge, so she has some protection. That's her court that she's sending the judge. She's got some protection, but at the same time she still doesn't have the full knowledge. So it's like, don't say nothing except for what I tell you to say. Do not say no extra words. Don't be trying to explain nothing. Don't argue nothing. When you go in there, you ought to say, I am the representative of this estate. I am the representative of this estate. And then they're going to, well, who are you and what's your name? I am the representative of this estate. And so that's what happened in this case. So she goes in, and they're having a trial, and he must have, because I got the tapes. I heard the audio of the session, and it was hilarious. But the judge is constantly asking her. I mean, he must have asked her, I know, more than 20, 30 times. Who are you? What is your name? I need somebody to take a charge and accept the name of the... Okay, and I told her the reason why he needs you to say your name is because... Let me hip y'all to some things about what's going on with these court cases for those of you who don't know. Let me hip you to it. All right. Right, take some notes. When there is a court case, there always, by law, must be a bond, insurance. Always, by law, there must be insurance bond on these court cases, always. So the deal is, they can't provide a bond. They can't present money. They're just a corporation. You are the one with all the money with your signature. But what they're going to do is the DA or whoever's running the case, they're going to put the bond on your name, the defendant. So what they're going to do is go and create what they call a bid bond, a performance bond, and a payment bond. They're going to put it on your name, and they're going to do it illegally. And they're going to have these bonds. They're going to be on the court records, and those bonds are going to be in your name, but they're never going to tell you about them. All right? So now they've got these bonds on the record, and you don't ever know to go and ask for it. And you thinking, well, what's a bond? Why do I need a bond? It's your money. Because they pay for everything dealing with the case. Again, it's insurance, and it pays for everything on the case. I don't care how much money it is. These bonds take care of it, and you never know to ask for it. All right. So the deal is, once they create those bonds, whoever created those bonds, they created it on your all capital letter estate. They become you. Oh, let me say that again, because I don't want to make it get it incorrect. And once again, when y'all, if y'all have any questions, put it down there. When they create those bonds, they become the name of your estate, because the estate is not you. When they create those bonds, they become the name, that person on the estate. Now, the deal is when you walk in and you go, hey, I'm Shanika Williams. As soon as you raise your hand, I'm Shanika Williams. Boom. You Shanika Williams now. You didn't know, you just took the charge. But as long as you don't say, I'm Shanika Williams, I'm the representative of that estate. Well, what is your name? The representative of that estate. But I need somebody to take control. You know why the judge needed somebody to take control or claim that name? Because as long as she doesn't say I'm Shanika Williams, then the judge is Shanika Williams. Well, who's Shanika Williams? You Shanika Williams, Judge Shanika Williams, and I need you to pay this pay for these court costs, and you're my fiduciary, and you're my trustee. You are Shanika Williams. Okay, so she goes in. I need y'all to understand that now. I know it's hard to understand, but whoever has created those bonds, that's who is the person who's responsible. So now what happens, as long as you don't claim that name, first of all, they can't arrest you. You haven't claimed to be this all capital letter estate. You haven't claimed it. But they claimed it when they put those bonds down. And so if you don't take that name, they got to pay. All right. So she goes into court, and the judge is going at her, and he's hitting her with all kind of stuff. Just try to, what they call her, pull her off her square. And like I told her, you don't say nothing, but I'm the representative of this estate, and you are the trustee, and you are I had to make sure I don't say these terms. I don't like to put them out there, especially when people are new to this game. But he's the trustee, and he's the fiduciary of the estate. So that means he's got to pay for it. All right. But what has happened when she went in there is that we set her up on her own court, and she's got a level of protection. But at the same time, if you don't know who you are and what to say, anything out of your mouth can and will be used against you. And so at this time, he's continually hitting her with the question, who are you? I need to know your name. What is your name? Can you read? Are you intelligent? Can you write? Well, you don't know your name? I need somebody to take responsibility for this name. And she kept saying, which she did good on that, I am the representative for this estate. You are the fiduciary. You are the trustee. Did you get my documents? Did you get my paperwork? All right. And right, Malik. Yeah, you are the beneficiary. I just don't want somebody saying all these terms out there, because again, this is when people go into these cases and these situations, they're very nervous. I already knew that. You're going to be nervous. You're going to be intimidated, and they're going to do everything they can to throw you off your square. I don't want you to have a whole bunch of stuff in your mind. All right? Because again, when you go in there, that's Michael Jordan. He's going to be slam dunking on you. You're going to have scrotums on your forehead because he's doing all kind of stuff, but it doesn't matter. You go in there, all I need you to do, I'm going to put you on the damn free throw line, shoot you 2 points, and come the hell up out of there, and you win. That's it. All right? So what we got to do, is understand this game. So what has happened is she goes in there with a bond that she has presented to him on the private, which always reigns over anything in the public. She's presented him with a bond. And in that bond, it pays for all of the court case. But it goes way above paying for everything. Because once you get finished paying for everything, Mr. Fiduciary, Shanika Williams, Judge, Trustee, once you get finished paying for all that, I need you to send me this balance. Send me the balance. Send the balance to me. So now Shanika just got paid. Now, what's the deal? She can't do that if she's not in the system. You can't do that if you're not in the system. Now, again, I understand wanting to pull out of the system. That's fine. But if you know how to operate out here, outside of the system, that's good. Because for me, I haven't used the system. I haven't had to use, again, I left the country 7, 8 years ago, and I never used any of that stuff. Never had the need to. I get my funds from the universe. But for those of us who are still learning this game, you can't do this stuff if you're not in the system. So learn how to use it to your advantage. So that's all I'm saying to you is, yeah, you can take all that stuff and move away from it. That's fine. But the bottom line is you want to get control of the estate. Once you get control of it, you can operate it and manipulate it however you want to. And so now, let me say this because I think my friend Malik just brought up a point, because I told you when she went into the court, they were trying to lock her up. They wanted to put her in jail. And then the baby's father was going so far as to try to make her seem like she needed a psychiatric evaluation and she needed to go to jail and, all of this other stuff. They couldn't touch her. For one, she knew who she was. For two, she had a layer of protection with her own court. When you take your court into their court, that's a layer of protection. You still got to know what to say, though. And we're going to hit on that in a few minutes, too, about how she said some things at another trial that got her hit. All right? So a layer of protection here when you have your own court, but you still must know who you are. You must understand this game. All right. So what ends up happening is, now she was saying some things that she was intimidated. Well, you need to have a lawyer. And she agrees to have a lawyer. Why you agree to that? And so again, it's for me, because I kind of fought myself, because I'm preparing somebody and we've got less than a week to get you prepared and know what to say. What should have been said is, I need this case closed. I need this case closed. Understand, when you go into this court, you don't need to say a word, because everything has been said in your court. You've said everything right here. That's all that needs to be said. You don't need to speak. I'm the representative for the estate. You are my trustee and fiduciary. Did you get my documents? That's it. Because everything has been said right here. Don't speak. I told her, don't be talking to your baby daddy. Don't be talking to the attorney. Don't speak. And all she needed to do was come out of there. But the thing that needed to be said is, I need this case closed. So she ended up entering a contract. And we'll tell you what they did in this case. They said, yeah, we want you to sign this contract. By the way, you don't sign nothing. We've done enough signing of stuff. You don't sign a thing. Sign nothing. I don't care what. Sign nothing. But she went in and she did sign the document. They're waiting on her to put her name down. Well, how's she gonna sign this? So to her credit, she put down the representative for the estate, and then she put the name in all capital letters. That was good. All right. So she comes out of there. And she basically had a win because, again, they were trying to lock her up. They extended the case. So we're going to have to rescind that contract. And we're going to have to, do a couple of other things to get the case. We've already sent in a notice of fault. Because now you got to understand, when you send your court in, this is a lawsuit always. I always set my courts up to where it's a lawsuit. So after the first one, I told you what we want. Now, on the second one, this is a notice of fault. And now I'm telling you, all right, hey, maybe you didn't get my first document, but you were supposed to send me this, this, and this, and this. All that was in the court. Now, I need you to understand, if you fail to do what I asked you to do, then it's going to be this, and this. You don't want this. What you want to do is honor my contract with you right here. That's what you want to do. So then when they don't do that, we flip the script on them. You know how they send you to, they send your stuff to the Internal Revenue Service and have them garnishing your wages and suing you and taking things. Well, that's what we gonna do. All right, this gonna become Court of Shanika Williams. That's what this get ready to be. We gonna flip the script. Ching. We're not gonna keep fighting. We're not gonna keep being upset. We're gonna learn these higher laws, the universal law, laws of maxim, and we're gonna understand there is no fight. When you want to contract with me, good. I'm gonna contract with you and flip the script. You sure you want to play my game? Because I got my own court now. I make the rules. Let me see if I have any questions. Are judicial parties American citizens? No. When we're talking about a court, thank you, Napoleon. When we're talking about a court, first of all, you got to understand, this is why these courts are nothing but corporations. They're not true government. They're not governmental agencies, all right? So these are just corporations that are like, they're not really sovereign, but they're sovereign people running these organizations, these corporations, all right? And those are the people who you sue. So when it's the judge and I send him a document, I'm suing the judge along with whatever corporation he's working for. So the judge I'm suing him in his private capacity. We're not even talking about a citizen of the American. No, I mean, we about American. See, when you say American citizen, you throw up so many flags when you say that, because a citizen is a slave. All right. When we're writing contracts, we're writing as a sovereign and as a god. Ain't no, because they're coming at you like a god when they talking about you. You went against my ordinances and they're suing you. A ticket is a lawsuit. A ticket is a contract. A ticket is a court. I'm going to give you a contract, a lawsuit, and a court right back. We're not talking on this citizen level. No, we're talking on a God level. You come at me like that, I'm coming at you like that. So I hope I answered that question. But no, when we're the parties are, listen, when we're talking about a party, the party is the person who you're contracting with. So when they come at you, when the cop comes at you, he's coming at you on behalf of the corporation trying to sue you. All right? And then when you go back at them, you going at them on behalf of your corporation, suing them. That's how the game works. Stand your square, truth. Yeah. That's right, stand your square. Let me see if I have any questions here. I could teach them equity in 2 seconds. They're the beneficiary. Malik, you can teach somebody equity all you want, brother. But when you get in a situation where you scared as hell, everything you taught them is going to go right out here. So what you got to do is drill them on specific things. All right, so you obviously haven't had to deal with people who scared as hell and about to pee their pants while they stand up there in front of a judge. And watch this, because I'm going to tell you how this same person went through a different situation and had a opposite result, 180-degree result. Let's see. Claim your name through subrogation. That's right. Thank you, Malik. Let me state this, because again, I talked about how the judge, when these DAs or judges or what have you, they have to have insurance. They're going to take it out on you. Those bonds that they take out, they belong to you, and we don't know to claim them. So when you say subrogation, that means that they now have to take those bonds and pay. Even if she had screwed up and said, I'm Shanika Williams. Even if she screwed up and said that, they still would have to, and that's not her real name, by the way, Shanika. I'm just using that. But they still would have had to, pay, because she said, I need to subrogate. She's claiming those bonds that they have. So what they want to do is they want to keep those bonds for themselves. Normally, each one of those bonds is $3 million. They want to keep those bonds, and then they want you to also make you pay Federal Reserve notes after. So that's why they want you to claim the name and then not be smart enough to claim your instruments that they created on your name. So that's what the deal is. True, but what are your benefits as a beneficiary? Okay, Napoleon, what are your benefits as a beneficiary? Here's the deal. When you are, let me go back to your mother and the Social Security whole thing. When, of course, yes, your mother is tricked into signing this birth certificate. She's not told everything, but the truth is she creates an estate with funds and credits for you. And the thing is, she doesn't know to go to the federal government herself and create this. So the United States Corporation is the one who does it for her and then holds the funds for her, for you, in your benefit. Well, the thing is, they are your trustee now. And you don't know to claim it and get it back from them because you haven't, you don't know that you even got this estate. You don't know about it. Well, now you're learning about it. So what the benefits are once you know how to use it is you know how to claim it now. And one of the things that Melvin talks about is when you're dealing with the Social Security people and all of this other stuff, there's certain laws that you can use certain words, which is what I'm going to get into now about how to manipulate this system from the inside. And I'm going to get into that. The court is the trustee. You're the beneficiary. Yes, that's correct, Malik. They hate it when you can beat them at their own game. That's right. But you beat them by not talking too dang on much. When you go in there, you don't want to be running your mouth and be all, the cop did this to me and he shouldn't have opened my door. When he opened my door, yeah, be quiet. Be quiet. You're trying to fight too much. You don't have to do all of that. One important thing to know is you must use legal size paper with numbered lines and communicating with the court by mail or they won't recognize. At least that's my experience. Okay, we don't use legal paper. We use regular paper, and I wish they might try to not recognize it. We're going to see if the Internal Revenue Service recognizes it. How about that? But yeah, if you want to put it on legal paper, it's all good. Send an affidavit to the judge. Failure to respond to certified affidavit is an automatic dismissal. All right, so one of the things Malik, thank you Malik, is talking about is that when you send a document, and every time we send our documents, we're giving them a specific amount of time to answer. In this case, we gave 10 days. So you only have 10 days to answer this. When you don't answer, then you have agreed to all of the terms of that contract, of that court, of that document. All right, so that's what we're talking about. Let me get on this because I want to finish up here with this particular client. So she comes out of there and she tells me everything. And so basically where we are is we've sent in a notice of fault already. But she tells me 2 days later about another court case she has with her baby's father. Now, this one was something that I didn't know about. She didn't tell me about this one. And I'm not going to lie to you, I was pissed. I was like, why would you not tell me about? Well, I didn't want to bother you. Okay. She tells me about how she goes in the court. This is 2 days after the court case that I helped her with. And she said this was domestic violence. She ends up in prison on a domestic violence case. And she says, she says she goes into court and she's using that same thing. I'm the representative of this state. But this judge was like, no, what is your name? So then the cops, the sheriffs or what have you, start surrounding her. She says there were several of them, 5, 6 or what have you. And they're surrounding her and they're pulling out handcuffs and they're like, well, what is your name? And she's saying, well, I'm the representative on this state. Who are you representing? Well, I'm representing me. Oh, there you go. There you go. Representing you. You took the charge. Next thing you know, they back off. The cops back off. She took the charge because she's opening her mouth and saying things that she shouldn't say. I'm the representative of this estate. So she ended up taking the charge. She ends up having to make the payment. All right. So she's got that on her record. Yes, we can expunge it, but I got to. There's another story behind that, because yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Let me tell you something. And as I had to tell my sister, and I told her this. I'm telling you what I told her. We all are going to pay for whatever energies we put out. You're going to pay for whatever energies you put out. And I was like, listen, you don't have to tell me. I don't want to know, because really I already know. You don't have to, you don't have to say what went on. I already know, because I know the law. All right. But you're going to pay for every energy that you put out. And yes, you were able to win the first case, but the fact that you come and turn around and get a result that's the exact opposite, because she goes in there, she don't have her court anymore. She's on their court. So she hadn't even sent in anything to them. She goes in and she's intimidated. She's not standing on her square. She says things that she shouldn't be saying. And the next thing you know, boom, just like that. Same person. 2 days later, totally different response. There are things that you're going to pay for. And you must pay for it. You can't just, now listen, this is why I'm leery about helping people in these cases. Because the universe is setting down energies. Again, everything is a balance. If you put it out, you got to pay for it over here. When I step in and I help you get rid of this charge, it coming back on me. I got to pay for that. I have to balance myself from helping other people. So this is why I'm saying there's certain things that the universe puts in play. And if you're supposed to get it, ain't nobody going to help you not get it. If there's something you're supposed to have from the universe, nobody's going to stop you from getting it. I don't care how much they try to hate on you. These are all energies. If you're supposed to get it, you're going to get it, whether it be positive or negative. And ain't nobody going to stop you from getting it. Like I was able to help her with the first case. But the second case, she's supposed to get it. That's why she got that charge. So what I'm saying to you, and I can help in some ways, but she comes in and she goes in without her protection. She goes in off of her square. She goes into a situation where this one was an easier situation to deal with than the one with her baby's father, but she didn't tell me about it. And, again, the universe sets it up for it to be what it's supposed to be. All right, now let me talk about this, and then I'm going to get out of here. And if y'all have any questions, go ahead and send those in so I can try to get them before I get out of here. Who do we run to for help? Who can you run to? All right, let's understand this thing. Now, when I was going through this, I was writing a contract, or I was going through her contract after it had been written. We were looking at the oath of office. What we did was we accepted the judge's oath of office, and we put that on public record. When you accept their office, the oath of office, you're accepting that they're supposed to do their job. Now, let's understand this. We're doing everything from a federal perspective, the federal government. So when we send these things off through the post office, we are under federal protection, and these courts they become federal courts. And so what happens is that we're accepting his oath. Now, let's understand this. All these corporations, and especially they're acting as governmental corporations, they're under federal rules and regulations. And let's understand what federal means. Federal means covenant. Thank you, Melvin Washington, for that. Federal means covenant. And who did they make a covenant with? With God. They made a covenant with God. How we know? What you talking about, Demon? What the hell made it? That's why all of them supposed to have an oath. Every public servant is supposed to have an oath of office and a bond. Insurance in the event that they do harm to the public. Oath of office to say, I'm standing in agreement with God and all of your God-given rights to protect the people. How do we know this? It's in their oath of office. So every last one of these oath of office is in with, so help me God. That is a covenant. And it is very much real. So all of y'all be talking about these case law and codes and statutes and constitution. Damn that. That's why I had this woman that say to me, I need to go in this real quick. This woman said to me, so you just ditch God's law, and because you always talking about the universal laws. Hello, lady. All of them, right? I stand under God, and God is under the universal laws. You got to understand, God is an entity. So we're talking about God's the creator of these vessels. Your mother is a God. I mean, we're talking about even the mitochondria at the finest level, the most microscopic level that we know. She is a God, but she is under these universal laws. And I can tell that when I go, and you can too, when you go and look at what the mitochondria does and how on this level, she's doing stuff that's causing stuff on this level. As is below, so is above. As is above, so is below. Same thing going up here. Same thing going on down here with the mitochondria. I'm saying down here, but in here. Up here in this sky. All that stuff is going on with the mitochondria. Same thing. So she's standing under universal laws as well. So no, I ain't ditched nothing. When I'm talking about who can you run to, we have forgotten about God. Now my client mentioned that. She's like, well, man, they got God all in their thing, but it's like they push it to the side. Yeah, they push it to the side because you pushed it to the side. You forgot about God. Who can you run to? God. That's who you calling on right now. When you go into those courts and they talking about swear on the Bible, so help you God, they got to swear to the same laws. They got to swear to the same laws. That's why if you atheist, I ain't telling you to become nothing. You don't even have to believe in the Bible or whatever. But I tell you what, you better shut your damn mouth with all this, I ain't believing, I ain't Christian, and God ain't real. Because you're going to get yourself hemmed up. You just threw away all your power. That's your power right there in that Bible. That power is in those words. Those are respected around the planet. And I'm telling you this because I've had to use it. Around the planet. They respect the God. They respect the maxims of law. So hell no, I ain't ditched the maxims of law. I stand under those. I stand under universal law. I stand under the natural laws. The laws of nature. So who you going to run to? Now I'm telling you to believe in that Bible, but I'm telling you to read it. Know what's in it so that you can use it as a weapon and a tool. So that when you go up against Michael Jordan and Michael Jordan got his scrotum all on your damn forehead, you know how to fight back. Just get your damn 2 points and get the hell out. You win. You win. You got to know how to use these weapons that are around you. All right? All right? So we got to learn. We got to get back. We have forgotten about God. We're going to get back to it. We're going to understand what's in this book. Understand why it's so powerful. I'm not telling you that the book is the perfect word of God. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. As a matter of fact, it's got a lot of lies in it. But it's got a lot of truth. And it is the basis of this whole dimension when we're talking about universal laws. Because I told y'all where the Bible comes from. The Bible is a construct of the melanated male and patriarchy. But where those scriptures come from? The Bible didn't come around until, 320-something AD? But the scriptures were around long before that. Long before that. Well, when was that? That was matriarchy. Well, who wrote the scriptures? The melanated woman. Look up Sibyls and Oracles. Look it up. Sibyls and Oracles. They come from the melanated woman. That's a lie, diva. What you talking about? These are my brothers. What you talking about? The woman wrote the you don't understand? Did you see? I was just looking at this thread. I was talking about, how the gods were female up until a certain point. Okay, I don't know about that. What I can tell you is that the vast majority of the gods First of all, when you go and read the left out scriptures and the ancient scriptures and other, Book of Enki, Book of Jasher, and all these other, what you find out is there were many gods, and those gods had names, and the vast majority of them were feminine. The feminine. Look up the term Lord. That means lady. Thank you, Melvin. Look up, look up the pharaohs, female pharaohs. Look it up. There were many of them. So these are things that we're not knowing. And again, you've got to get back to those scriptures. Yes, there's some things in there that have been changed, but when they were changed, he could not leave out the foundation of this dimension. He couldn't leave it out. That book is a contract. That book is a contract. These people make covenants with God. And y'all need to stand on the word of God. Because that's your tool. That's your weapon. That's who you run to. All right, let me see if I have any questions so I can get up out of here. What if the judge doesn't have an oath of office? Thank you, Toya. But it's a lawyer and a judge. Well, then we're going to sue the whole county. So, because that person, if they don't have an oath of office, if they don't have a bond, they're not supposed to be working. And the whole county becomes liable for that. That's what happens. You send a lawsuit in for all of them. I say present the truth doesn't have prefixes or of suffixes. Okay, Melvin be talking like Yoda. The truth doesn't have prefixes, suffixes, it doesn't. All right, let's see. Napoleon, no need to be represented. Right, yeah, you don't need representation, Napoleon. When you go in there, you can represent yourself. Thank you so much for this clarification. Many, many blessings to you. Thank you, Brother Dwayne. Let me tell y'all something. As I get ready to get out of here, I appreciate that I can help people, because we got to get this game. But I need y'all to understand this, and I've said this in another one of my posts that I did to my brothers. When you're getting to this level and you're learning to pull yourself out of the system, you must have integrity. At every step of the way, you must understand every energy that you're putting out. Some of you are not getting success because you are not supposed to have it. You're not responsible enough to have what you're looking for. You're not responsible enough to have all the riches and the money. You're not responsible enough to have your estate. I've talked to some people where I can pull them right up out of their land, right off from under the United States Corporation. But I don't, as soon as I do that, they're going to sell it to somebody else for a damn Federal Reserve note. And we really going to be in trouble then. Right now, only thing that these people own is a fictitious address. Because they got a deed. But if, some of these people, like I had another client, she was like, well, yeah, I'm trying to, get, because they stole the land from my family. And I was like, okay, well, we can get the land back. You ready to get it? So if you get the land back or you can get the money, well, I just take the money because. See what I'm saying? So when we go back, I also, on that thread where you can go, the link rather, where you can go and download these links or what have you, I have these treaties up. All right, go and read those treaties because they talk about the what the original people of the land went through when they made these stupid decisions to sell the land. We will still do the same dumb thing today. When they was making these treaties between the original people of the land and Britain to sell the land, they realized their bad decisions, and they were trying to redo the contract, and the British was like, no. We told you we were gonna give you some blue jeans and some chicken strips and some tender victuals and whatever the stupid stuff that they gave them, and we would keep the land. You can't change the contract now, because they realized, they was like, oh, well, y'all gave us these things, but They gone. In a week, you still on our land. Yeah, dummy. Stop giving up the land. You're not responsible. That's why it was taken away from you. Again, you are your ancestors. Stop doing stupid stuff. Show that you're responsible so that you can get your inheritance back. So I'm glad I can give you this information on how to protect yourself. But when you get up to this level, you better get your integrity in check. In every step of the way. I got people talking about, well, we're gonna take over the government and we're gonna make them do this, and we're gonna make, if your integrity ain't right, you're gonna be the one underneath that jail. You're gonna be the one underneath that jail. Get your integrity in check in every phase of this game. Because again, when you get outside of that, the universe is gonna return that energy. She's gonna return it to you. The question is, how's she going to return it to you? Down here on this level, oh, you might go to jail. Somebody might steal something from you. Up here, put that energy out. There's a higher level of responsibility when you put out energies. You better have integrity. All right, I'm going to end it there. Thank you all for joining me so much. I want you to know I love you. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, go ahead and post them, and I'm going to make sure I try to get to them today. And listen, let's do this thing. Cha-ching, cha-ching. You don't have to fight. All of it is yours. Show integrity, show responsibility, and the universe must give it to you by law. Dee Marie, I'm out. Peace.